I wonder how many of you really know what's going to happen to you today after you leave the church. Well, neither did Abraham when God asked him to leave his country and to set off for a foreign land. And like Abraham, we have the choice as we leave this Mass. We can live as though in this world, as though the world is just a random place with a lot of random events, or we can live by faith. And our scriptures today tell us that faith is the realization of what's hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. What that means is that we recognize that there are no guarantees in this life, and that we have no control over most of what happens, and we won't understand most of what does happen. And yet, we look ahead with hope. Well, by faith, Abraham set off into a hostile country with the realization that his journey was towards something that would not take place in his lifetime. And by faith, Abraham and Sarah would receive the ability to have children in their old age. And by faith, he was even willing to sacrifice that child, but only because, by faith, he reasoned that if God had promised him to give him descendants through Isaac, Abraham believed that God could also raise his son Isaac from the dead. That sacrifice didn't take place because God intervened. And what Abraham did not have to do, God would do. And 2,000 years later, he offered up his only son for the life of the world. And that heavenly city that Abraham was looking forward to, that heavenly city that you and I are looking forward to, became a reality. I watched a movie a couple of years ago about the 1996 Rwandan genocide. And in it, a congregation of Catholic Tutsis, one of the ethnic minorities, were celebrating Holy Mass just the way we are today. And outside, the UN peacekeeping troops, which were their only protection, were packing up and preparing to leave because they'd been ordered out. Now, surrounding the church were the Hutus. There was a mob that was waiting to swoop in and to slaughter everybody in the church. They knew what was coming, and to step outside those doors was the most horrifying thing imaginable. Well, when we step outside today, the world's not going to be nearly so hostile. It could be, it is in places of the world, but none of us do know what's going to happen to us in the days to come. But we live by faith, and with God's help, like Abraham, we will reach that heavenly homeland.